Hey, hi guys, Watson, just a new YouTuber.
Okay, hello. My name is Zahra, and this is my first video. You guys are like probably at your desk right now, and you got like a nice snack or whatever, and you're looking through YouTube, and you're like, "There's nothing good to watch. Right? There's nothing funny to watch. There's nothing out there right now. I don't know what to watch. If only there was some cool, talented, amazing, beautiful artist who could animate stories for me." And then I pop up and I'm like, but anyways, my name is Zahra, and I do art and I write stories. I plan to do storytime animations. I actually have a second account, or two separate accounts. My old one is Zwick Artist. I still use it to post OC content, stuff like that. So, but like this channel here, this is like my stuff, like things that happen to me or what I'm interested in, and that type of stuff. After just the sheer amount of YouTube storytime animators that I've seen, I remember like looking at all of them and I was like, I gotta hop on this train too, bro. And I remember telling my little brother about this, and I was like, I want to make YouTube animations on YouTube, like storytime animations on a separate account. And this monkey, he goes like, but yeah, I'm making this video just to prove him wrong. So y'all should totally subscribe, just out of spite. Some interesting things about me. I work as a math tutor. I don't know how, but I do. I have written a book that I will not be revealing the title of. Maybe in future videos. I'm literally. But yeah, I have a lot of ideas that I'm working on, and hopefully you guys could follow along, and I could be a cool storytime animator that y'all can watch. But yeah, that's all I have to say. You should check out my other channel for OC content and other cool stuff. But yeah.
Okay, guys. Okay.
Oh, hello? Hi. Me and Omar saw at the bank. What happened? Nothing. So there's firefighters outside our door. So this whole thing was very recent, actually, like around New Year's, which will be very important soon. So I live with my three monkey brothers and my parents. And I think the best way to describe my brothers is literally Alvin and the Chipmunks. Like Alvin, he's like my older brother. He's the star of the show. He likes to sing. He plays guitar, especially at night when I'm like trying to sleep. Very main character, very social. Simon is my younger brother. He's more into editing and being behind the scenes. And yes, he is the monkey brother in the first video. And yes, he did help me edit this video too. And Theodore, he's my youngest brother. He's tiny, he doesn't like eating, always very, very hyper. And he plays video games like this. And the three of them, they're dumb boys. They get into trouble sometimes. Like playing video games late, getting into arguments, just buying expensive stuff, just the typical dumb sibling stuff. But this was a bit more intense than previous things. So my parents had left to run some errands, leaving me and my three monkey brothers alone. So I'm sitting at the kitchen, I'm working on my first video. Actually, by the way, thank you so much for all the support. Genuinely, where did you all come from? But yeah, I was, animating and sketching and reaching my flow state and everything is great until my older brother, he walks out and my little brothers are like following after him. They don't really explain where they're going. And I stupidly assume they're going to film a video or play outside because they usually do that. So I I'm not questioning anything. I trust them. I trusted them. They leave, and I continue working. Literally 5 minutes later, my youngest brother comes in, and he's all quiet, and he's like breathing heavily, and he's like looking through the kitchen drawers, like, what happened?
Nothing.
What? Why are you? Just tell me what happened.
Do we have like a bowl or
Just tell
something?
me what happened.
We started a small fire.
Now, for context as to how they even got fireworks, this happened the day before New Year's Eve. My uncle visited, and he brought a bunch of fireworks, and that's fine. The part that wasn't fine was like he lit them in the neighborhood, which wasn't allowed. And I remember my uncle was playing with the fireworks, and we were all like watching him. We were like all having fun and everything. And you turn and you see my dad just like hiding behind the car because he didn't want to get in trouble. But I think my brothers, like being my brothers, got very inspired by my uncle's rebellion and decided to take the remaining fireworks and go literally the next day to the driest, grassiest part of our neighborhood and just light them on fire, which again is not allowed. So, when I hear this from my youngest brother, I like run out of the house and I immediately see a bunch of smoke, like everywhere. That was pretty scary. I quickly go to where the smoke is coming from, and I see my older brother with my younger brother like stomping all over the fire, trying to put it out. And I'm panicking. I start yelling at them to come here because the fire was spreading insanely fast. Like within seconds, there was just a huge patch of grass that was just on fire. And I'm busy yelling at them to like get away and like come over here and stay away from the fire. When I hear one of my neighbors asking me like what happened. And I look at him in my alpha wolf hoodie and my beat up chappal and sort of go, they were playing with fireworks. And he quickly tells me to call the police. Now, for context, the couple right next to us, they're freaking cops. Yes, it's very ironic. I run up to the cop's house and I knock on their door, and this poor man, he's like in his PJs, and he looks like he just woke up, and his kid is like clinging to him by the leg, like peeking over, looking at me in my alpha wolf hoodie and my beat up jumper, and I sort of go, oh, my brothers, they were playing with fireworks, and I didn't do anything, but it landed on the grass and it's on fire. His wife is like patting my shoulder and she's like, oh, don't worry, we got this, it's okay. And by the time I lead them to the fire, my brothers have somehow managed to clear out most of it. So the officer, he tells me, it's gonna be fine. It seems like they cleared out most of it before it got serious, so there's no need for a firefighter. Who just called? So one of my neighbors had dialed the firefighters. And, in their defense, that's pretty fair. Like, imagine waking up early in the morning, brushing your teeth, going like, this is gonna be a beautiful day. I'm gonna get so much work done. I'm gonna take a nice walk.
Why are you replying so late? Baby, you know the consequences of making me mad.
But yeah, the firefighters came. They checked the burnt grass. They gave us the A-OK. And I remember my brother was like shaking and he was like, are we gonna get like a fine or something? Are we gonna get in trouble? And they were like, no, it's okay. Just don't do it again. Nobody got hurt. You got lucky. Just be careful next time. But yeah, by the time everybody left and it was somewhat over, I had already called my parents. And listen, before you guys come saying,
oh my God, Zara, you're such a snitch for that.
If you light the neighborhood on fire, with the fireworks our dad specifically told us not to use. I will be calling our parents and I will be ratting you out. But yeah, after I talked to my mom over the phone, telling her, like, we're all fine, nobody got hurt, they left. My older brother was, like, telling me to give him the phone. And he goes, "Hello, Mama." Yeah, when they came home, my mom was pissed. And I am surprised all three of my brothers got out of that alive. But my dad was the complete opposite, and he was like, good job for putting it out. But yeah, you're still in trouble. You guys know when I told Aether how well my video is doing, he started begging at my feet for forgiveness. Yes, you were. He was like, "Oh my God, Zara, like, I'm the villain of your story, man." I'm like, I don't know, I feel like I just regret bullying you, and I feel like you deserve that and more subscribers. And Heather told me to tell you guys to subscribe to me and like the video. I didn't tell him to. I said, don't do it, it's fine. But he was like... I'm recording this in my parents' closet, and tell me why it smells like chicken noodle soup. It smells like chicken noodle soup. I can't. So when I released my first video, I got a lot of different types of comments. There were really sweet comments like, "The art is so good," or "The animation is so great," or "Love seeing Muslim Storytime animators here," or "Claiming my OG ticket." And those comments are so sweet, and I love you guys and your sweet comments, and y'all are so nice, and I love you. And then there are also negative comments like, "You're low-key overrated," or "This was pretty cringe," or "Be ashamed from your thumbnail of not video but channel. It's like sexy anime picture, bro." And then there was also this one weirdo who took the time out of his day to comment, "Yo, can I have your Baba's number?" But in retrospect, if you're gonna be posting online, all these types of comments are kind of expected, so whatever, we ball. But the most amount of comments I got were all about one single question. Where are you from? Can't be that hard to guess. Where do y'all think I'm from? Malaysia? Nope. Indonesia? Nope. Jordan? Nope. India? Nope. Hawaii? Jamaica? Pakistan? Pakistan? I am from Pakistan, guys. That's my ethnicity. That's my answer. Or more specifically, my parents are from Pakistan. I grew up in the good old America. Yippee. I would visit Pakistan a lot, though. And when I do, I'd stay with my khala, my grandpa, and my cousin. I miss him so much. And since I grew up in America with American friends, I am very whitewashed. So my dad speaks Urdu, my mom speaks Urdu, my older brother, who also grew up in America with me, speaks Urdu, but I am not very fluent. And it's never been a big issue since my cousin and aunt speak English. But when it comes to talking with my grandpa, who is so sweet and loving and amazing, conversations will usually go like this.
क्या हाल है बेटा?
ठीक.
स्कूल कैसा जा रहा है?
ठीक.
आपने कुछ
ठीक. And it's so frustrating because I want to talk with you. I just don't know how. But my cousin would often be my translator. But it's still embarrassing. Another thing about Pakistan is the spice levels that we have. I don't think I fully realized how much spice we can endure until this one time where my friend, who is very white, she was eating, I think, biryani that I had brought, and she couldn't take another bite without downing water every time. And I was so confused. I was like, what? It's just not that spicy. It's just, you just gotta put raita on it. Yeah, it tastes good. It's pretty good. So I guess it's an odd flex to be able to endure that much spice, I guess. I don't know. Another big thing, whenever I do go to Pakistan, and it's something I'm still trying to get used to, is having workers or servants there. They could be cooks or cleaners or helpers for the elderly. But I was was not accustomed to having a cleaner like helping me out 24/7, because it was to the point where like the first time I came to Pakistan in like a while, and I had just come back from the airport. I was so tired, so I kind of like laid down on the couch, just like trying to like take a nap or something. And I'm laying down, and all of a sudden I feel somebody's hands pressing my arm. And I turn and I see this random, sweet but random lady just massaging my wrist. And I was like, no, oh my God, it's okay, I'm fine. It's you don't have to do that. It's fine. I'm so fine right now. I'm perfectly fine. You do not need to do that. Like, I know she's just doing her job as like a helper, but why? And it gets to like a certain point, like we're watching TV or something, and one of the workers had like finished all her tasks, and she just sits on the floor. I'm like, no, please sit with us. Oh my God. But I feel like these past few years, Pakistan has made a more special place in my heart, mainly because my grandma had passed away during that time, and I always wished I could have spoken Urdu more fluently, so I could have, talk to her more and just share so many things with her. Because at the time, I was always very reluctant to talk in Urdu. I was always embarrassed to like mispronounce something or just, say something wrong and have everyone laugh at me. So I wouldn't really speak with her that much out of embarrassment. And now I'm not able to speak with her, even if I wanted to. Which reminds me how when I was much more younger, we were in Pakistan, and my grandparents, they asked me, I think, to like get them water or something. And I told my mom, Mama, the Pakistani people want water. Like, I used to call them Pakistani people, my grandparents. But looking back, I think I said that because they were exactly what Pakistan represented for me. Because my grandparents were so kind and welcoming and always giving and so full of love. And that's how I see Pakistan now. So I may not be fluent in my native language or used to Pakistani customs, so I am trying to step out of my comfort zone and speak in Urdu much more often. And I also feel like following a bunch of Asian influencers have helped me practice my culture at my own pace. I will link a lot of these Pakistani or just Asian content creators in the description if you want to check them out. So if you, my lovely viewer, ever feel out of touch with your culture, you are not alone in that. But getting out of your comfort zone and trying to will never hurt. You know what would be really cool? You know what would be like insane? If you liked and subscribed and commented something. Like right now. I'm not doing that again, I'm sorry. No, but in all seriousness, thank you so much for all the support I've been getting these past few weeks. When I released my first video and it got the reaction that it did, I told myself like, oh, this is...
Say you have a low credit score and you want a credit card that helps you rebuild credit. Where do you go? Credit.
I need you to picture this. Your parents recently enrolled you in this math tutoring center to help you get better at your weakest subject. And obviously, you're reluctant at first. They're making you do school outside of school. It's already unjustified. But at last, you give up and you decide to go. So you enter the center, you sit down, you open up your homework, and you are already struggling. The questions just don't make sense. None of the words make sense. You're not getting the right answer. Everything feels so jumbled up and confusing, and you hate it here, and you just want to go home. But you wanted to get better at math, right? So obviously, you turn and ask your teacher for help, and you go, "Hey, Miss Sarah, I'm struggling with this. Could you help me out?" And your teacher sees that you're visibly upset and on the verge of tears, and in an attempt to console you and comfort you and relate to you, your teacher goes eye level with you and says, "Oh, it's okay to struggle, Jacob. Everyone struggles in math, especially me. In fact, I don't even know how I got this job." For as long as I can remember, me and math have always had a wretched relationship. It wasn't the type of subject where I was like sometimes good at it and sometimes bad. No, I straight up failed. Every single time I had to like complete a bunch of homework for different subjects, I would dread math the most and I would try to avoid it at all costs. After years of this constant cycle, little me had developed the input output theory. If my input is zero effort and not trying, my output would obviously be failing. But if my input was a lot of effort and actually trying to do the work assigned, my output was still failing. So bringing all these facts together, I would come up with the solution of just not trying. There was no point. I was just not destined for math. You're probably listening to all of this and thinking, Zara, if you're so stupid at math, then how did you end up teaching it? And my completely honest answer is... So, a while back, my older brother applied to work as a math teacher at a math center. So, essentially, he did a short interview with the director, he took a test, and he went home. And the next day, I remember, like, me and my family were all huddled over his laptop, like, waiting to see his email. And he got the job! Oh my god, yay! Like, super happy for him. He is now employed. And my parents' natural reaction to my brother getting a job was... What, literally the next day, they sent me to the math center and told me to apply too. The director was a really sweet and cool lady. And how did our job interview go? It went amazing. It was fine. It was amazing. One of the best job interviews I had ever...
So, how was your experience with math?
Oh, I'm good.
Oh, okay. Have you ever tutored anyone before? Okay, what are you most comfortable teaching in math? Like algebra or like calculus?
I can add and subtract.
Okay, that's nice. What would you say is your average grade in math currently? No, like an A or a B or a C. What would you say?
So after that conversation, she sat me down and gave me the test. And I looked around and I saw a bunch of little kids. Like, okay, I know the math center aimed towards teaching like students, but I was not expecting tiny infantile children. Like, the sight of these tiny little goobers gave me such a confidence boost. I was like, oh my god, these are freaking first graders. They're probably learning like shapes and colors, dude. I could totally teach math like this. My gosh, I was worrying for nothing. I just gotta pass this test and I am gonna be so honest when I say I don't remember a single number I put on that page. The moment I saw the first question, all my confidence just left my body like a dying soul. I need you to understand, guys. My brother said the test took like 1.5 hours for him to complete. It took me 4 hours to complete. And by the end of it, they were freaking closing, and I was still rushing through it. My brain went on autopilot. I did not think. Finally finishing it, turning it in, and sitting down and waiting for my parents to pick me up. And I was hanging on to this stupid hope. Like, maybe I might have passed. Who knows? I mean, I was pretty confident in like question 4, though I like read it 5 times. But maybe this is the time I actually do get good at math, and it could just be my luck that I might failed. As 100% expected, I had failed, obviously. I think the passing grade was like an 85, and I got like a 60. It was really bad. The director was extremely kind and really sweet about it, and she even helped me like with some of the problems. But every waking second, I was itching to get out of there and never see a human face ever again. Having the guts to apply for a math job, failing the test, and having the director sit me down like another student and help me understand the question was just a humiliation ritual. But since then, I had no plans of reapplying because I was too embarrassed and fully convinced in my input-output theory and that I'm in no position to be teaching math. But of course, the urge to be employed kept coming up, and I wanted a job. I remember constantly trying to apply at like retail stores and libraries and anywhere, but I was either too young or I just did not have the time because I was still a student. And it definitely didn't help with the fact that every time my brother, who has the fancy math job, would get his paycheck, he would flex it in my face. And I would get so angry. It was getting to the point where I felt like I could not apply anywhere else except that freaking math tutor job. Honestly, I wish I could tell you guys that I just had this heroic need to like teach math, teach the youth, and just, contribute to society in such an honorable way. No, I just wanted money.
There's our star. Looking great as always. Look who's finally...
Contribute to society in such an honorable way. No, I just wanted money. I'm sorry. I can't explain how nerve-wracking it was to step inside the center I had once gone crying out of. But by the summer of my sophomore year, I finally went to reapply again. And the next day, me and my family were huddled over my laptop, ready to open the email. And I remember thinking, like, just prepare yourself for failure. If you didn't get it, it's fine. It's not a big deal. It's my input-output theory. I won't get the job, and that's completely fine. It's fine. And after we... What? I really wish I could tell you guys that it was because of my sheer hard work and passion and grind that got me this job, this honorable position. But I am so for real when I say I genuinely think it was luck that got me this job. Just insane luck, and the director seeing something in me. What she saw, I have no idea. But yeah, long story short, I got employed. I'm a working citizen, guys. It's employment. Sorry, you'll get there. You'll get there. So one of my students somehow found out about my channel and asked for a shout out. So shout out to Leah. She's a good student, guys. We love Leah here. I know I didn't say any stories about, what it's actually like teaching, and it's mainly because I wanted to have that as its own video because I have so many silly stories. So